I'm going to show you how to configure your tablet software to make it easier to use. Start and then Control Panel. Then you will have two different types of views. It may show up with a new view. I find it easier to use Classic View because it shows more and it shows this tablet properties. So you double click on this, then it opens here. What's important is this. Here, the pen mode and mouse mode, you have to choose the pen mode. In the beginning, this may seem a little bit confusing, but once you get used to this, it's far easier way to use it. Now, if you click on the details, then it shows you where you want to map it. That is, this is your tablet, and this is your monitor, where you want it to go. Normally, you would want the entire tablet to go to entire monitor so that you can use all the areas here. But sometimes some people have multiple monitors. In that case, you will get to choose which monitor you want it to go. In this case, I have only one monitor, so it doesn't even give you any choice. But on computer I use, I have 4 monitors on it, so I would have 4 numbers to choose from in this case here. So if I choose the monitor here, it goes here. It has only one monitor, as I said, and I chose that one. Now, suppose you want to write really small in this area here. Then you can map the entire tablet into some part only. In that case, you do portion here. Then you will click Set. And then you say, I want to define the area. Click, and then you go from here, the entire area I'm talking about here. Suppose I want the tablet to work only from here to here. Let's see, click. And then I want it to go from, say, here and to here. Okay, I don't know if you noticed here, but now it goes to a very small area. So if you write on your tablet now, you cannot reach here at all. It will only go here. This will be useful if you have trouble writing small and during the class you're running out of space all the time because your letters are big. In that case, you would set the proportion to your favorite box. Say you always use top right, or you always use the bottom part of your screen, something like that. So just take the part that you're using more often and map it there. It makes sense to have this, you should not define it in an upright triangle like that or rectangle like that because your tablet doesn't look like it. So this shape should look more or less like the tablet. And then say okay. Then now when you write on your tablet here, it will only show up here. So during your class, if you're always using this area here, this may be a good way to virtually maximize the area you're using here. Okay. Now, as I said before, it's not a good idea to have a strangely shaped rectangle like this with tablet because your tablet doesn't look like it. Now, but you can, and this will get confusing. If you write normally here, would write out the letters will appear very skinny because the ratio is different. See, this is the more or less wider than high rectangle, and this one is a higher than wide rectangle, so it will look distorted. Suppose you don't want to be distorted and you don't know how to set this correctly. In that case, you force proportions. This way, you will only use this part of the tablet. This part is meaningless. What a waste, don't you think? So, but it will not look distorted. So it all depends on what you want to do, how you want to do. So I think it's wiser to have the tablet ratio like that on part of the screen that you will be using, and then say okay, and then that entire area will be mapped into that part of the screen. Now you can say, are you going to use the entire area of the tablet, or you can use just a small portion of it? You can also set what portion of the tablet you want to use. I don't know why anyone would do this. You're wasting this much space. But you can if you want to waste it. But I don't see any points. I will do this here. And also, appearing a little bit distorted is fine compared to this part not writing at all. So I will just not force the proportion. So I use the whole area. Instead, I will make sure that I have the ratio that is more or less exactly like the tablet so that it comes out correctly. So once the whole thing is done, you click OK. Now this part I've always found disturbing. When you're done here, you got to just close it. There's no OK button here. I'd like to tell you one more thing here. When you're using WebEx, this makes no difference because WebEx has no sensitivity. WebEx senses nothing about how hard you're pressing. But when you're using software such as Photoshop, it knows how hard you're pressing. So you can write the calligraphic writing using this tablet here. But how thick is your brush? You can control here. Here you got to press hard to make it write something. And here it's like a soft brush. You just by barely touching it will start spilling ink or paint over the canvas. And this is how quickly you got to double click for it to take it as double click. And this is also control of this here. See, these buttons act as double click and right click, but you can change that. You can make it some kind of different clicks here. I usually find this annoying because if I accidentally press this, then something pops up because it thinks that I did right click. So when I work on these things, I actually disable it so that I can accidentally press it and nothing ever happens. But you may want to do something else here. You can do all these things by clicking on this button, and you can do all these things by clicking on this button. What it does is up to you. While at it, I'd like to look at a few other things here. Now, pop-up menu. I don't use this. I don't know what this is for, so I will not explain. What about the tablet? So here, on your tablet, you got this buttons here. This is forward and backward. So you can make it do different things here. You can do all these things on your tablet, and you can do all these things. So you can decide what you find most useful. And some models has this roller in the middle here. What does it do? Well, here, scroll by lines per notch, or don't use it, or you go by you scroll whole page when you go by a notch. Notch means you feel a little tick tick as you turn this here. That resistance and then giving in, that tick is one notch here. So you get to decide what it does with it. In case you messed up the whole thing and you didn't know what these were for before, click default. Okay, and then, but here, how many lines it scrolls is 3 lines here. If you want to scroll more, you get to specify here. And if you really messed up again, click here, then it brings back everything to the original setting. And here, as I said, I don't know what this is. Let me know if you figure out. And this is the pen setting that I explained. Now, just close this without, there's no OK button. Just close this. Now we are ready to use the tablet the way you like it.